So this clip shows how intelligent Cole Palmer occupies pockets of spaces, especially at his time at Manchester City, a system in which really made Cole Palmer thrive and understand the game much better. So Cole Palmer is a player who likes to occupy these tight spaces in midfield. And in our video today, we are going to try and analyze why Chelsea should build around Cole Palmer. That's going to be our topic of discussion today. So Cole Palmer is a player who has predominantly started as a right winger for Chelsea this season. But though he starts at this position, Cole Palmer offers a lot for Chelsea, especially in the offensive side of the game. Cole Palmer's role in attack is quite impressive, as well as his role in the defensive areas of the pitch. One remarkable item about Cole Palmer that we cannot fail to recognize is his incredible stats this season. In 37 games, he's already scored 16 goals and made 12 assists, making him having a 28 goals to assist goal contributions in his time at Chelsea, which is quite impressive considering that the season is not yet over and he is playing at one of the teams that is performing poorly this season. So looking at his stats, you can clearly see how he contributes, especially making progressive passes and progressive carries towards the final third. We can also see one key facet about his defensive side, which is his interceptions, which is quite an incredible skill that Cole Palmer has that has been quite underrated. But this has been underrated because of his incredible offensive game. Now, today we are going to look at the positional tactical analysis of Cole Palmer. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. So, Pochettino has preferred the 4-2-3-1 as his go-to formation. This involves 4 center-backs, 2 holding midfielders, and 3 attacking midfielders with 1 down the right, 1 down the left, and a single number 9. So Palmer plays as the right midfielder in a 4-2-3-1, and his main aim is to cut in with his left foot and occupy this position in the right half space position. And this position allows him to, he's allowed to play in this position because Gusto, who's playing at right back, is willing to overlap and occupy these kinds of positions. Now, Cole Palmer cannot only play at the right wing, he can also play at the number 10 position, especially when Conor Gallagher is not playing. And this can see him looking to orchestrate play from this position. He can also play as the farthest of the midfield 3 in a 4-3-3 formation, where he has also previously been deployed by Poch. Sometimes, Cole Palmer has also been deployed as a false 9 in the game against Middlesbrough, Aston Villa. He was also deployed in the first leg and the game against Arsenal, where he played quite remarkably. So during build-up is where we see some strengths of Cole Palmer. So we know Pochettino likes to build up with his 2 center-backs, goalkeeper, 2 full-backs, and his 2 holding midfielders dropping deep. So against aggressive oppositions who try to force Chelsea to build through one side and force Chelsea to play down the touchline, where they can use the touchline as an extra defender, force the fullback to play the ball long where it can be won, we start to see the effectiveness of Cole Palmer in these kind of systems. So when teams are trying to press Chelsea from the back, what we will see is Conor Gallagher in the number 10 position will occupy one midfielder, while the 2 other midfielders will be occupying Caicedo and Enzo. So teams which are trying to limit Chelsea's central progression will most likely hold a high line because of the pace of Jackson and Raheem Sterling. But this is where we see Cole Palmer thriving. So Gusto sometimes will drop deeper, pull in a forward deep, and then Cole Palmer will drop into this position and look to receive the ball. If he's not well tracked, he will turn with the ball and look to orchestrate play from these deeper positions. As we saw in the game against Manchester City, how Cole Palmer created a lot of problems for Nathan Ake when he dropped in these kinds of positions. So when teams decide to push in a fullback into these high positions to try and track Cole Palmer, this is where we see his remarkable 1-2 skills with Malo Gusto, who's able to run beyond him, and Cole Palmer using his physicality. Yes, he has physicality to receive the ball and look in to play in Malo Gusto, making that space in that run vacated by the fullback. Alternatively, if that space is opened up, we can see Jackson making that out to in run and looking to receive the ball on the side of the center back, making Chelsea have as many as 4 players running at the opposition's back 3. Now, when Chelsea are in possession is when in settled possession, especially high up the pitch, is where we see Cole Palmer thrive, showcasing his strengths, especially playing against teams that look to try to showcasing his strength in playing in tight positions. So down the left, a player such as Sterling and Mudryk will most likely look to receive the ball and dribble past their fullback. But Cole Palmer is different. Cole Palmer vacates his wing position to come and occupy this half-space position. So what happens when Cole Palmer occupies this half-space position? It frees up Malo Gusto to push forward to occupy the width down the right. So when Gusto occupies this position down the right, what you are more likely to see is that when Gusto receives the ball, he's able to draw a fullback out of position and look to play the ball onto Cole Palmer, who's making that half-space run. Alternatively, Malo Gusto is also quite effective in playing those penetrative balls, especially for the runs of Raheem Sterling. And if Gusto is not covered, Palmer sometimes will drop deep into this semi-right back position and look to play threaded balls for the runs of Jackson or Conor Gallagher. Sometimes Palmer can choose to hold the width down the right, but his main aim is not rather to dribble, but rather to play those cross-field passes in the 6 and 18-yard space, looking to try to give his team solidity. Now, the defensive side of the game is quite interesting when considering use of Cole Palmer. So when Cole Palmer plays as the right winger against the game against Manchester City, we saw Cole Palmer work aggressively hard in terms of trying to double up against the winger or to cover up against a fullback. And therefore, this gives his fullback Malo Gusto an opportunity to win the ball. And once they win the ball, Cole Palmer is usually the player to receive the ball first and look to use his excellent vision and passing ability to thread quick counter-attacks against his opponents. Now, in games where Cole Palmer is played as a false 9 alongside Conor Gallagher, what we see is that Cole Palmer will not stick his position next to the center backs, but rather look to be picking pockets of space in between the lines where he can look to effect the game, especially when runners are making those runs in between. Now, this is the game last season against Chelsea, and you can see how effectively he was able to play that ball to Julian Alvarez. Now, the signing of Cole Palmer at Chelsea has been quite controversial on the Manchester City side, because now Pep Guardiola is faced with a predicament whether to understand whether the signing or the sale of Cole Palmer was a huge mistake, considering that Manchester City have a vacancy at the right wing. Pep Guardiola has even decided to play Phil Foden in that position, yet we know Foden thrives well playing in the midfield of the park. If Palmer would have been there, Manchester City would have been more ruthless. Pochettino is still being scrutinized on how he will use this player and maximize his output. Knowing that Cole Palmer is playing in a team that is not quite the best at the league currently, it's up to Mauricio Pochettino to try and nurture that talent and maintain it in the position that is currently in. So, in my opinion, Chelsea should really heavily invest in trying to create a team around Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is the future of Chelsea Football Club, and he has the potential to not only be the best player at Chelsea, but also one of the best midfielders in world football. If you've enjoyed this analysis, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.